If you watched any of these videos, you know this already. I sell real estate in Durham. So about 60% of my business, maybe 50% of my business is in the city of Durham. So the smart business move here is to make a video about how wonderful Durham is. Naturally, I made a video about the worst thing about living here. My team's just gonna love the fact that I did this. I've lived in Durham 32 years, same neighborhood the whole time, and you don't stay somewhere 32 years unless you really, really love it, or you're just bad at packing. So for me, it might be a little bit of both. But here's the deal. Everybody makes the highlight reel video. The food, the trees, the university setting, the up and coming downtown. You can get that anywhere. What you can't get is the guy who's actually lived here for 3 decades telling you what genuinely annoys him. So that's what this is. The real complaints, not the Zillow version. So let's get into it. Let's start with transportation. Because Durham was supposed to get a train, a light rail. Downtown Durham all the way to Chapel Hill. People were genuinely excited about this back in 2011. Voters actually passed a sales tax to help pay for it. We taxed ourselves for a train. That's how much we wanted it. And then, in 2019, after roughly $157 million in planning, the whole thing got canceled. $157 million. And you wanna know what we got for it? Nothing. Not a rail, not a station, not one little train car you could at least sit in and take a picture. We spent the price of a small college tuition, and what we walked away with was a really, really expensive PowerPoint presentation. The short version of why, if it's important, the route ran past Duke's hospital, and Duke wouldn't sign off. So the project just stopped. That's the first thing you should know about living in Durham. We once paid $157 million to find out we were not getting a train, which is a shame because now we've all still got cars and really just one road. It's called 15501. Route 15 and 501 smashed together, and we think it's normal to call it 15501. And I'm pretty convinced it's been under construction since before I moved here. I have personally watched them widen this road, add lanes, and somehow traffic doesn't get better, it still gets worse. It's like loosening your belt to lose weight. And then there's I-40. If you've ever tried to get from Durham out to the airport at 5:30 on a weekday, you already know it is 12 miles, but give yourself the afternoon and pack a snack. Tell your family you love them before you go. Now, is the traffic as bad as a bigger city? No. If you're moving here from Atlanta or DC, you're going to think that we're adorable for thinking traffic is bad. But if you're coming from a small town like this guy, expecting country roads, the triangle grew up and the traffic has grown with it. All right, the next one. And this one actually stings a little. In early 2025, Durham County did its property reevaluation. That's when the county reassesses what your house is worth for tax purposes. The last time they had done it was 2019. And that's bad timing because in the years between 2019 and 2025, the market went just a little bit insane. So here's the county's own number. In 2019, the median home in Durham sold for about $239,000. By late 2024, the county pegged that median at about $416,000. So people opened their reassessment notice, saw the county now thinks their house is worth almost double, and got about a second and a half of feeling rich before they remembered what it actually means. It means the tax bill also almost doubled. And the part that nobody put into the Durham brochure, Durham already has the second highest county property tax rate in the triangle. Only Orange County, that's Chapel Hill, is higher. So when somebody tells you that Durham's more affordable than Chapel Hill, that's true on this ticket price, but the tax bill quietly closes some of that gap back. That's the honest version you should know going in. And same thing is true between Durham and Raleigh. Wake County, where Raleigh is, the tax rates are actually a little bit lower, so that affordability gap that Durham brags about is a little bit less than you might expect. And look, if you're watching this because you're seriously weighing a move to Durham and trying to figure out whether the numbers actually work for you, that's a conversation I have all day, every day. There's a link in the description to grab time with me, no pitch, just a straight read on your specific situation. We'll talk about neighborhoods, budget, taxes, all of it, and of course it's free. All right, so back to my complaining about Durham. And really, this one is less about Durham and more about what's in everybody's head about Durham. Durham has had an image problem. It's mostly out of date though. Every single client who's moving here from out of state, or really within the state of North Carolina, it's the same, ask me the same question in the first 5 minutes. They lower their voice and they say, "Is Durham safe?" And I understand where it comes from. Durham had a rough reputation back in the 90s and prior to that has followed it around ever since, like a smell you can't find. The reality today is a lot more complicated and honestly a lot more boring than the reputation. I actually made a whole separate video on exactly this. Real crime data, where it's concentrated, where it isn't. Not vibes, not feelings, data. I'll link to it right here because it deserves its own 15 minutes, but the short version is this. The Durham in people's heads is running around 20 years behind the Durham that actually exists. And here's a bonus Durham-specific tax on your soul. People constantly confuse Durham with Duke. Duke is in Durham. Duke is not Durham. Durham is not Duke. I've watched people move here get convinced that they're getting a leafy little college town, and Durham goes, nope, nope, I'm a real city. I have a downtown. I have opinions. I have people who have nothing to do with the Duke University and want nothing to do with Duke University. I have barbecue debates going on at all times. It has nothing to do with Duke. Duke is the honor student of the area. Durham's the older sibling with the tattoos and the food truck who's actually doing great. Thanks so much for asking. All right, another quick one, another quick complaint, and I'm actually legally required to mention it, and it's summers, the summer heat. July and August in Durham is not a season, it's a punishment. You walk out to your car in the 9 in the morning and the air just holds you like a warm, wet hug. It's human in a way that feels personal. Your glasses fog up going outside. It's 4, maybe 5 weeks a year, but those weeks are undefeated. Just know that going in, they will defeat you. All right, so those are bad things. Those are things that are annoying about Durham. But okay, I promised the worst thing, a singular, a superlative. You asked for the superlative. And after 32 years, here's my honest answer. The worst thing about living in Durham is that everybody finally figured out Durham. For a long, long, long time, this Durham was the Triangle's underrated city. The affordable one, the weird one, with the great food and the cheap old houses that nobody else wanted that you could fix up. Downtown was empty tobacco warehouses. You could buy a solid brick bungalow for basically nothing. And then people noticed. The restaurants started getting national write-ups and James Beard nominations. The tech companies showed up. The empty warehouses turned into lofts with exposed brick and a coffee shop that only serves one kind of milk. And the prices, you saw the numbers, went up and up and up. So the worst thing about Durham isn't the traffic. It isn't the taxes. It isn't the lack of trains. It isn't the reputation. The worst thing is that the version of Durham that made everybody fall in love with it, the cheap, weird, underrated version, is exactly the version that's getting harder and harder to find and to buy your way into it. The secret has gotten out. And of course, I'm part of the problem because I make videos about it. Now, this is the part where the real estate agent shows back up because the secret got out does not mean you missed it. It means you have to be smarter about where you buy. Here's what happens, and this is happening elsewhere too. This is what happens in a market that got discovered. The obvious neighborhoods get bid up first. Everybody piles into the same 3 zip codes. The value is now in the streets 1 street over. The pockets that haven't been found yet. And a lot of those don't show up clean online. Half the aggregator data around Durham is contaminated by neighborhoods with similar sounding names. You'll pull up average price for one area and it's quietly mixing in a totally different one 3 or 4 miles away. That's another video. The genuinely good Durham deals still move the old-fashioned way. Word of mouth. An agent hears about a house before it even hits the market and makes a call. Which is the one honestly useful thing about knowing somebody who's been doing this here for a long time and living here for 32 years. I know which streets are quietly undervalued. And I usually know before the internet does, usually. So, the worst thing about living in Durham is that it got good enough that everybody wants in. As problems go for a city, that's not the worst one to have. And I'm still here, same neighborhood, 32 years. So take all the complaining for exactly what it's worth. If you're thinking about making the move, and you want the honest, unbrochured version of any of this, the neighborhoods, the numbers, whether it actually fits what you're looking for, the link's in the description. Grab a time, we'll talk, it's free, and I complain a lot less on the phone. I'm a lot less cynical. I'm Bill Stevenson of Spotlight Realty. If this was useful, subscribe. I do one of these for basically every neighborhood in the Triangle, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.